Hey there everyone, this is Chess Coach Aaron. How you guys doing? And I'm here for another video in my series of chess variants, or as I like to call them, fun games of chess. So this week I actually learned a new one, and there are a bunch. I'm going to keep going through a whole bunch of them. My guess is we'll get to 8 or 10 different chess variants, and they all help regular chess. But this week I learned a new one with one of my students. It's called Racing Kings. Very interesting. I loved it. So there are a couple of tweaks to the rules and a different starting position. If you can look closely, you'll see the starting position. There are no pawns. And both sets of armies start on the same side of the board. The object is, with Racing King, to get who can get a king to the other side first, to the 8th row. We want to get our kings to the 8th row. So there are a couple special rules here. The first one is simply because white goes first, if white gets to the last row first, black actually gets one more move. And if they can also get their king to the last row, this is considered a draw. So this might be the only way, I think, in the game for there to be a draw, a tie. And this is to kind of combat the fact that white gets to go first, which is an advantage in just about every chess game or variant, fun game of chess there is. Sometimes it's a very small advantage. But here they decided they could give, because there's no other way to really draw unless both players say, let's draw, which is kind of pointless in this. I mean, it's kind of a fun game. Play it to the end. You start it, finish it. But this is a kind of cool idea. Black gets one more move if white gets there first. But again, this is called Racing Kings. Get your king to the end first. Now for some of the tweaks. You see the special starting position, and you're not allowed, and this is a big difference from regular chess, you're not allowed to put your opponent's king into check. You cannot attack your opponent's king. The rule that you're still not allowed to move into check still applies. So let's say for the first move, just for fun, white put their rook on the 3rd rank here. They want to cover it. Black is not allowed to put their king into check. They're not allowed to. But let's say this is the first move for white. They make sure that the black king can't start running. Okay, fair enough. And then you'd look and you say, well, this knight can capture this bishop on f1. Actually, it's not allowed to, because that would be check. You're not allowed to put the opponent's king in check. And this adds a very nice dimension. You're trying to block your opponent's king, but you're not attacking it directly. You're trying to slow it down and then get your king going. So the idea of trying to slow down your opponent becomes very important. And escorting your king to the end also becomes very important. So there are some tricks here because you can't put your king in check. For example, let's just say the queen was here. Let's just do this real quick. Let's just say someplace else in position 2, just for fun. And it's white to move. Well, normal chess would be, I'll capture this queen, get it off the board. Why not? It's really strong. But you're not allowed to. This would put this king in check. So here, if it was black to move, and let's say this rook is attacking your queen just for fun, you say, oh, I could take this free bishop. No, you can't. It's attacking a king. A smart move might be to, well, I want to get my king to the end, but I don't want to lose my queen. I'm not quite there yet. Maybe I put my queen over on b6. This still gives space for my king to walk safely to the end, but they can't capture the queen, at least not on this move. And next move, they won't be able to capture it either because I'll be in check. And then the next move, yes, now they can capture my queen because I'll win. I'll get to the end. So it starts to create these new ideas, these new ways of protecting pieces or, slowing your opponent down because you're not allowed to put your opponent in check. This game, though, is so much fun, and it's kind of quick. And as usual, my favorite website, Le Chess, has tons of chess variants, fun games of chess. This is one of them, Racing Kings. And you can, again, play 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. You can play to have tournaments every so often. A lot of fun. So I played 3 games, 3 blitz games, 3-minute games, which is what I normally play just to play faster chess to get it done. And it can make it crazy at the end of any game. When you play 3-minute blitz or 2-minute blitz or 1-minute bullet blitz, the end of the games become just so crazy, or they can anyway. Anyway, this is just for fun so you can kind of see how this works. Racing King. And again, all the other rules are here, except that both armies start on the same side next to each other, and you can never put the opponent's king in check. All right. Not a lot of other rules. So let's get to some of the games. All right, game number 1 coming up. Hold on. All right, game number 1 is just a quick one. It actually, my opponent just ran out of time. We did a 4-minute game, but my opponent was going very slow. And it was actually one of my students. And that does happen, but we learned this game together, and it was a lot of fun. But let's just see how the first moves go, and then we'll go to the second game very short, because it just gets you started. And again, I find this to be a very fun new version of chess, a variant of chess. What I like about chess also is look what they did with the 8th rank. They made it stand out, so you know this is your goal to get there. All right, so I'll talk about the moves in such a short game. The first move, I was actually white, and I decided let's move the bishop because I'm going to capture something. I'm going to get rid of these more powerful pieces because by capturing, I'm not putting this king in check. But I didn't really pay attention. Is this a good move? They could just move their king forward, nothing stopping it, and I can't take the rook. That would be check. So the smart move would be king forward. So maybe this is not such a great starting move, at least for one move forward. Does the material really matter in racing kings? Well, the answer is you want these pieces to survive as long as you can, but basically slow the opponent down, or to trade and take their army off the board. If their army is off the board, it's easier for you to go forward. They can't slow you down. So, yes, losing these pieces or trading away is not such a big deal because it's really about getting the king to the end, but you still want to do it wisely. But king going forward to a3 would have been very smart. All right. My student, he played rook b8, and not bad. I mean, I think he wants to play over here somewhere maybe, but this doesn't slow my king down, and it doesn't stop any of White's plans, which is simply just to take some of the bigger pieces. All right, so I got the queen very early, and this is where he started slowing down, and that does happen. Again, this is one of our first games ever playing this, so it was very fascinating. All right, I ran forward. He ran forward. Sorry, he's black. I keep forgetting who's what color already, but he ran forward. Makes sense. He lost the queen, but the game is hardly over. All right, so I immediately say, ooh, I better slow down their king. His king, so I put my rook to stop him. Again, I can't put him in check, but you're also not allowed to move into check yourself. So this does slow his king down for a moment. And very smartly, he did block, whoop, so that means his king can now go forward. It won't go into check. And right now, he's got a nice little path going forward, and he's already winning the race. But it's a long game, right? It's not so easy. All right, I played queen here, realizing I better slow his king down. If his king keeps going, I'm probably just going to lose, even though I won the queen. So I think this was an important move, to slow down his king. All right, now, he said, you're slowing down my king. All right, well, I'll attack your queen. If you want to give me your queen, I'll take it. And notice, I can't take his bishop. Not that I wanted to, but I can't take it because that would be check. I can't take this free bishop because, again, that'll be check. Notice how many captures are not allowed right now because of the idea of you can't put your opponent's king in check. But I am up a full queen, and I'm going to try to keep my queen and slow down the king. The queen has done its job. It aimed for a4, slowing it down, and once he put his bishop there, his king can't capture his own piece, so now I can run away, still slowed down. So now I'm actually pinning his rook. He's not allowed to capture, because then his king will be in check. You're not allowed to put your own king in check still. So I saved my queen, and now his king can't move forward. Important, because I got to get going. All right, now he moved the bishop. Also kind of a good move, right? The thought of it is a good move because you're making a path for the king, but he cut off protection for his rook from his other rook. So that's the bad part. If he was going to move the bishop, it should have gone someplace else. I think instead of b5, maybe d7 makes sense. Attacking my rook. Can't be captured on d7, and you're clearing this line, the A line, the A file, for this king to run forward. And you're not letting this queen jump back on this diagonal. So by playing bishop d7, that probably was smarter. That probably was the smarter move. But here, now you're allowing me, yes, I can't take with the queen, I can't, but I can take with the rook, and nothing is protecting it probably because the king can't take back. All right, and that's exactly what I did. Now it gets very tough for that black king to move forward. At this point, I'm up a queen and a rook, and they are guarding the idea of this king going forward. All right, let's not spend too much more time on here because at this point, black did lose on time. Now, I was about to start getting going, but it's still plenty of game, right? Still has some major pieces here. These are all good pieces to slow my king down. But I think white has an advantage here. All right, that was a fun first game. Let's get to the second game. All right, here's game number 2, and this is actually with a different student of mine, and she likes to play a little bit slower, so we did a quick practice game at the lower time control, but she asked for 10 minutes, which was fine. Again, very interesting. So this one was, 18 moves long. Much more interesting. She still lost on time, I think, officially, but we were right at the end of the board. So I'll talk about it. I'll try not to go over every move like the other game, because this is a much longer game. But again, the idea is to slow your opponent down and try to get your king going. And you can't put your opponent in check. All right, so in this case, I was black. And very good first move, slowing my king down. I did the same thing to make it so my king can move. And she's slowing my king down, very good. I realized if I do the same move, right, slow her king down with my bishop, well, then her queen might come out. And then the queen coming to, let's see, d5 or c6, and it's hard for my queen to come out properly. I figured I'd better get my queen out first, but her king can start moving forward. I haven't slowed down her king, but I figured this queen does control stuff and makes it harder for her queen to come out. All right, less talking, right? Bishop back, very smart. Chase my queen. I want to keep my queen out covering squares. Her king's going forward. I want to get my pieces out. And very smart trade on her part because she realized she can take, and I can't take back with my rook. I can't, because that would be check. Very smart. And if I take back with the bishop, there was something I didn't like about it. What didn't I like? Kind of don't remember, actually. Yeah, I took with the king, and I think that's mostly because I wanted to get my king going and keep up with her king. Let's keep going here. Her king moved forward. Well, I'm trying to get my pieces out, and my thought was, between the two bishops, if they can cover these diagonals of my queen, that'd be enough to slow her king down, and then my king can make its way forward, I was hoping. And then she took the bishop. Another good move, because, again, does my king want to go backwards? And does my knight want to go over here? You know, she's presenting problems. And I did take with my king. I think I did that because I wanted this knight to be near this king. So it gets problematic. But going backwards probably is not good, right? You don't want to. But you also don't want to lose your army if you can help it, right? You want to keep your army to slow the opponent's king down. So anyway, I took the knight, but that's a step back. Probably not great. And they took my knight. I took that bishop. And rook forward. Probably she could have moved the king, but she doesn't want to lose the rook for a bishop. All right. So rook up, and she is attacking my piece. Notice she can't take with the queen again, because why? Check. All right. I saved my knight, and this is a pretty good save because I'm getting a bigger piece. Notice you can't get out of these type of situations with checks. You can't save pieces with checks. Changes the idea of the game. And these laser beam long-range pieces, the rooks and queens, and sometimes bishops, they are very strong in this game because they block the king from going to a whole line, perhaps. This rook is blocking my king from going up to the 4th rank. My queen is stopping the king when it gets up, to the 6th rank. So these are important things to kind of get rid of. Knights are actually very slow, but knights are great at attacking other pieces, even in racing kings. All right, let's get a couple more moves in. Save the queen, took the rook, king over. Got to get my king going, and notice this knight cannot move. I actually pinned their knight with my king, which is a funny concept because they can't put my king in check, so the knight's not allowed to move. I thought that was kind of funny. All right, king forward. And now I'm trying to make sure I'm putting a couple pieces of heavy artillery on this line. Maybe chase the queen away, but hopefully not both. And now I have a line, I think, to the end of the board. All right, let's go. Let's keep moving. And notice I had to put my bishop on the 4th row to let my king go there, right? I had to get the bishop to block that queen. And we're just running forward. And here she ran out of time. But could she have gone forward, and then if I go to win, she would get a draw by also getting there? The answer is no. That's only if white gets there first, black gets one more chance. So if black gets there first, which I was about to do, right? I was about to go to c8 or b8 and win the game. White does not get one more move. But this was a very interesting game. I love it. All right, we got one more game to show you. Racing Kings. And here's a question for all of you. I think every fun game of chess, as I call them, every chess variant, helps regular chess. So before I start game 3, the question will be, how does Racing Kings help you in regular chess? Think about that, and we'll talk about that after the 3rd game, all right? Let's get on to game 3. All right, here we are for game 3, and I just put out a game to all of LeChess. You can create games and send it out and let someone play you for a 3-minute blitz game of this. Get a third game in, right? I played one against 2 different students of mine yesterday, and this morning I said, let's play a third game for this video. And a lot of fun, good game. We played until 17 moves, and actually I was able to get to the end, but it was such a close race. A lot of fun. I'll try not to go over and talk about every move, of course. But again, it's very interesting. Trying to get your king to the end and escort it safely. And you cannot put your opponent's king in check. I know I keep saying it, but that's a huge difference. It actually makes you really think. But with 3 minutes, you don't have a ton of time to think. You got to still manage your time. All right, so in this game, I was black. And this was interesting. My opponent played their king first to move and unleashed their queen. And I immediately wanted to stop their king from going forward. Since white's going first and I already have a head start running, I don't want them to keep going. But that actually, what happened there when I moved my rook? I really gave away this free bishop. Boom, nothing's protecting it. And on top of that, this knight's attacking 2 pieces. So right away, I think I made a bad move because I just dropped a piece for nothing. And then I said, uh-oh, this knight's attacking 2 of my laser beam pieces, the stronger ones. Oh man, I'm just going to lose this game quickly, I thought. And then I realized, well, first of all, games are not over. That's number 1. Play it to the end, right? But number 2, I realized this knight actually is not threatening the rook. It can't capture the rook because that would be check. Aha, my rook's actually safe. So now I just need to get my queen out. And, you know, losing a 1 bishop, come on, that's nothing in this type of game. I'm sure that's nothing. So let's keep playing. And I bring my queen out, and I am trying to, again, slow my opponent's king down. And if they block this rook, I figured at least I'm covering a couple of these squares near their king. But my queen's out to a good safe spot, and I think this is important early in this game. All right. Not sure why they jumped to the side and didn't get the queen out. Putting the king over to g3 seemed a good start because you can get your queen out. Now, where can it go safely? Well, you got, let's see, h6, h7. Those are 2 spots. I don't know which one I would choose, depending on, probably would have gone to h5 to start with. Why not? But I would have gotten the queen out. That's the whole point of this king move, I thought. So when they moved the king over, yes, now they're trying to get the rooks out, but they've wasted time moving their king back and forth for no reason. Yes, they did go 1 step forward, though, and you got to get to the end. Boom, got to get to the end. All right, I, at this point, said this knight is really annoying because if I move my king, right, I can't go to a3 because that'd be at the check, but if I move my king, now it can snack on this rook. And I really like this rook. It's keeping the king trapped right now on the 3rd row. So I need to get rid of this knight. So I figured, let's go get that knight. All right. They move their rook, and notice they're blocking so the king can kind of go forward. But that's why I put my queen here. Boop. If they block this rook, I figured, boom, my queen is still doing its job. But very smart. If I take this knight, well, no, it's protecting my rook, and I would lose the rook. So this was a smart move in terms of putting pressure on this position and protecting the knight, maybe. All right, let's get a couple more moves in. Save my rook, and now I'm threatening the knight again. And again, I'm trying to make it so I'm impeding that king from going forward. Bishop. Now I take that knight. Our armies are equal, but is that so important? Well, I'm just trying to get space so my king can start moving, and that knight was annoying. All right, they attack my queen, and now I'm pinning that bishop. I think that's a good tactic in racing kings. If they put something in front of their king, pin it, because then the king can't move forward. And they can't move the pinned piece, because again, you're not allowed to put your king in check. So, very smart. They have to move this rook for the king to keep going. At least I thought it was smart. So to have another piece, I don't see any threats. Got to move my king. And of course, there was a threat. When they moved their knight, and notice how quick I wasn't thinking about this, my rook's in attack. Ouch. So I move my king, they snack on a rook. But I'm thinking they're spending all their time in front of their king. Yes, they have the bishop over here. I just might run for the end. Let's get this game won. And they can't move this bishop. It's pinned to the rook. They're not allowed to put me in check. This bishop's actually helping me for a moment. Go around the side here. And they're trying to keep up. But notice my queen's doing a good job of slowing them down for the moment. And good move. They can't let me get so easily to the end. They got to slow me down. I'm already a step ahead, and they still haven't dealt with my queen. So putting the queen in front of my king, very good. They got to slow me down. So I figured, let's get to the last, you know, before you in the 7th rank, let's get to the next to last move. And now let's figure out how to get that queen out of there. Let's get that queen out of there. Or get a piece, one of my pieces, to a square so I can get to the last rank. Remember, I can't move into check. But how do I finish this game? All right, let's see some moves. And I attack that queen. I'm hoping, it's a big mistake, and you shouldn't play hope chess, but they would capture my rook, and then I could win. Not going to happen. My opponent's playing very well. All right, so they save the queen and control that 8th rank still. And now can I attack the queen? Well, they would just take the rook. And I wouldn't be able to take back, so I can't attack the queen on the 8th rank. So I'm bringing in knight. I figured knight would help slow down their king, right? But really, my idea is get the knight to the end. But right now, I actually cannot. I can't put this king in check. So I did play the knight here with the idea that I would go forward. And then right after I played, I said, I can't even go to d6. I can't even do it. It'd be check. If I go a different direction, well, maybe that would be the move. They can't capture with the king for the moment. And I want to get rid of this queen, so maybe knight here would be what I have to play. But they move their rook forward. Gotta save my queen. And again, I'm just trying to impede this king. And now I'm thinking they're going to move their king forward, and knight here will be a great move. Are they going to do it? They really shouldn't let my knight go here, because my knight will attack the queen, and the knight can move to the end, blocking so my king can get to the end. They move their king. And you kind of figured they're low on time. They have 23 seconds. If you look closely up here, it's 23 seconds left. I have 58 seconds. So they got to kind of move fast also. And it makes sense to move their king closer to the end, right? They got to keep up with my king if they can. But now knight d6, I think, is a winning move. I'm threatening the queen. And if I get to take the queen, then my king can go to the end. Or I'm going to play knight to c8, blocking the queen. And now my king can reach the end. And yes, they moved king over. Don't quite understand it. And I put my knight here. And really, I don't see any way for white to stop black from winning. Can't capture. You can't put the king in check. Can they cover this dark square with something? Is there some way to cover that square? Like if this rook could magically fly over here, that would cover that square. You know, or if the knight could magically fly over to c6. But other than that, I don't see any ways to do it. Made one more move, hoping I didn't get to the end, and I got to the end. My king won the race. Whoop, whoop, whoop. All right, let's get one quick joke in. I hope you guys try Racing Kings. And oh yes, the question was, how does Racing Kings help regular chess? Well, you learn how to escort your king when needed. You learn how to slow your opponent's king or trap your opponent's king into spots on the board. In regular chess, you're slowing your opponent's king down or trapping it so you can deliver checkmate. Here, you're slowing it down or trapping it so it just can't move forward. And you can win the race with the king race. But notice how it does help regular chess. And the question was, how does it help? Well, I just explained it. Hopefully you see how it helps and you play a little Racing Kings for fun. But let's get that joke in. Hold on one moment. And why does Santa Claus have 3 gardens? I mean, really, Santa Claus only works one day a year. So what does he do the rest of the time? Well, he definitely plays some chess. But he also has 3 gardens. But why? Why does Santa Claus have 3 gardens? Well, the answer is simple. He likes to ho, ho, ho. One more time. Santa likes to ho, ho, ho. All right, I hope you guys got that joke. I hope you try Little Racing Kings. This is Chess Coach Aaron. Peace.